Welcome back to another video, and today, guys, I'm going to be talking about why you should stop disrespecting Jamie Collins. Let's get this started then. Alright, so Jamie Collins is a player that I see a lot of people trashing on in my live the other day. And, well, it's definitely more of an interesting thing. Because I looked at his base, I looked at his base stats and his advanced stats for 2020 season. He was really good. 101 total tackles, 1 sack, 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception, 6 passes defense, 72.3% completion percentage, 434 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 6 quarterback pressures. So he only allowed like 2 touchdowns. So that's a pretty dang good season. And so I decided to move on to perhaps maybe compare Jamie Collins' latest season to these players: Bobby Wagner, Joe Scobert, and Darius Leonard. Let's go to Bobby Wagner. If we go to Bobby Wagner, his latest season, he had 0 interceptions to Jamie Collins' 1. He had 8 passes defense to Jamie's, I think it was 6, wasn't it? 6? Might have been 6. Oh, yeah, 6 passes defense. Okay, so not much more of a difference there. He had 0 forced fumbles. 3 sacks to Jamie's 1 and 138. So the only thing that Bobby Wagner was amazingly more dominant at than Jamie was tackles. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So then what about the advanced stats? Well, Jamie was actually a lot more dominant in coverage. While he did allow more yards at 48 to Jamie's 434, and only allowed 2, he also had a better quarterback rating of 88.9. So then I was like, okay, so he was barely worse than Bobby Wagner at run stuffing and pass rushing. Better he got more picks, very less pass defense. So he was like basically barely worse than Bobby Wagner at everything but completion percentage. So then I decided, okay, what about Jamie Collins' amazing 2019 season, his elite season? In his elite 2019 season with New England, there you go, he had a total of 81 tackles, so a lot worse than Jamie's season, but then he had 7 sacks and 10 tackles for loss. He had 3 interceptions and 3 forced fumbles. And he was much, much more dominant in coverage. 168 yards allowed, with a 46.0 quarterback rating. Now, the completion percentage was once again 72.7, worse than Wagner 68, but that's just about everything but run stuffing that he was worse at than Bobby Wagner. Now, I'm not saying that Jamie Collins is as good as Bobby Wagner, or that they're even really, the same. But Jamie, in the end, was quite fantastic. In the end, having stats that aren't so far off to the best linebacker in football. So what about Joe Scobert? Joe Scobert's one of my more underrated linebackers. I really like Joe Scobert. His time in Jacksonville, he got 3 interceptions last season, 2 forced fumbles, and 141 tackles. 6 quarterback hits. A really, really great season, arguably elite even. But his coverage numbers were so much worse than Jamie's. 74.2%, 550 yards, and 6 touchdowns allowed of 110 quarterback rating. Of course, he's had 2 other good seasons before this in Cleveland. And you're going to see my point when I show everyone the stats I'm meaning to do here. What about Darius Leonard? Jamie had an interception. How many forced fumbles did Jamie have? 3, just like Darius Leonard. Jamie, although had 2 less sacks, just like earlier, but he had less tackles. So the only thing, once again, because I'm about to show you, the only thing Darius Leonard is better at than Jamie Collins is apparently sacks, but definitely not coverage. Out of 2 out of 3 seasons, Darius Leonard's career, last 3 years, they're not better in total than Jamie's. If we go to Jamie's advanced stats, he was just straight up as good, or around as good, as Darius in coverage, or better, far better. Even this latest season, Jamie was better. And here's what I want to talk about. People say Jamie can't do good. Jamie can't do good. He had a down year. I hope maybe he had a down year. But Darius Leonard had a down year. We've seen him be pretty good in coverage, besides maybe 2018. We've seen him be good. We know Joe Scobert's had 2 down years. Was still fantastic later on. We've seen the exact same thing with Bobby Wagner. These are elite players. See, down year and exploded next year. We've seen that with elite players. We know that they can be good. It's to say that Jamie can't have a bounce back year is just not statistically true when I just showed you elite players who have had down years. It's very possible, and I think Jamie will bounce back, and we need to stop dreading him. He still even played good last season. If this is a down year for Jamie, I'm excited to see what he does next year. It's crazy. Now, granted, they say he needs to be outside the immune system, but how do we determine that? With the Hugh Jackson Cleveland Browns, are we really determining his time with Hugh Jackson as a reasoning for bearing around his only good New England system? No, I'm going to give him a clean slate here. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of a shout out to Det Fanman, because he wants me to say PJ Johnson revival. PJ Johnson's only stats in college was 31 tackles, 1 pass defense, and 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. In total, he was nothing impressive, but he was a 7th round pick for the Detroit Lions, and he's someone who could definitely kind of make the team. He has some size, and some people thought he was kind of comparable to Snacks in a way. He's gotten some good stuff about him. He is 6'3", 320 pounds, so he's got size. But overall, we'll see what happens with PJ Johnson if he gets his revival. Alright, that's the video, guys. And tomorrow's video is going to be on preseason players to watch for Friday. And I will see you guys later.